Charlie.
Craig, would you tell us about shit?
You know what I've always wondered?
How
did I get married into this? What? Here we go. There are 3 septic tanks in this campsite. This one goes for this cabin, which is Nancy's cabin, the loon, and the laundry room. This is so all the sewage water comes to this. There are drain fields. You can see the white pipes here, cap there. This is called a drain field, and if you have questions, I need you guys to be asking. The drain fields, the heavy materials settle out here, get biodegraded. The liquids go out into the drain fields, which is perforated pipe, and it absorbs back into the soil. This drain field, you got some trees growing in here, should be definitely taken out, like those pines and stuff there coming up, and even some of these bigger trees. We got to be careful in the maples there, because the root systems grow down into them, plug up the perforations, then you got to dig everything out. There is no repair. You dig it out, and it's going to cost you, an average septic unit system is going to cost you probably $5,000 to $9,000. The new rules with the EPA, you may even have to go to a mound system, and a mound system is going to cost you $9,000 to probably $15,000 a piece. So please take care. Take a look. Here is a septic. This is the first one. This is the cupboard. And if you look down in, you see the white pipe that's down there. That comes from the cabin and from the laundry room. So the liquids, you can see it dripping a little bit there. They're dripping in here. The solids then settle out down there. This is the liquid side that goes through, and it goes out into the drain field. Shows that this needs to be pumped, and the reason is it should be a little higher distance, or more distance from the pipe to the water. But this system is still working fine. This system is not damaged. Taking a look at it, then if there's sedge gets over or heavy materials get on that side, it goes out into the drain fields and it plugs them up. And that is definitely, so taking a look at this one, you can see there's water on both sides. Nancy and I have been up here for, 4 days, and you can tell that there's no heavy material sitting on this side, so this one system is still good. Each system should be pumped. Normally, the rule of thumb is every 3 years, but for the limited use that they get up here, every 5 years, I think you'd be fine. Okay. And I think these systems are probably 11, 12 years old, and I'm not sure.
I'm not sure when they updated it.
Taking it, make sure the cover's back on it again. In the winter time, we would have pumped it this fall, but in the winter time, if it's a heavy material or if we get extremely heavy, wet fall, it could push this in, break it. So we'll wait until spring. They'll come and pump it out. The pumping it out is Al's Septic that I had out when you had the unit problems earlier with the pump. So Al's Septic did it. The cost on pumping this out, one of these units, is about $100 to $150 depending on it. There's another one by Emily, and it's Get Her Done pumps also.
Did you latch anything in?
Not in this one, I don't. I'll show you
just
on another one.
hauled it over the top.
The card for Al's sewage is on the bulletin board in the lodge.
Okay.
So if anybody
And are
needs
there
it.
things someone should do to keep a healthy septic system besides just have it pumped periodically?
Well, yeah, and you know, in the world, if you take care of them, that's really all you need to do, and take care of it.
By taking care of it, you mean pumping it regularly?
Well, every 5 years in
Yeah.
this case, and so on. So, but again, that 5 is a rule of thumb, because you have to check them every once in a while. Okay, this is unit number 2. This one takes care of Steve's cabin and Jimmy's cabin, and those 2 lines come into here, into this septic. If you look into this one, number 1, looking in, you can see that there's sedge or there's heavy materials on both sides. I took, and I don't enjoy doing this, but I cleaned it out earlier. It was a lot worse than this. But this is definitely shows me damage, and I can tell it's damaged because you see the port coming out, the pipe coming out. That should be definitely below the septic or the water or the fluid there. It wasn't. So it tells me you are not draining in this field. It tells me there is damage to this field.
Okay.
How long can we get by? We're going to pray that it'll biodegrade if you start picking it up and doing a better job on it. It may do. You can see the heavy white tissue paper and so on. You must go with either two different wipes in our toilet paper. And the only toilet paper you can use is 1-ply or approved for septic units. And it'll say it on there. Do not use other things. Out of this one, I pulled paper towels and I pulled a bunch of other stuff into heavy, heavy tissue, and that's not fun, and I'm not doing it again.
But you can see that there's heavy stuff on the other side that's supposed to be just water.
Right.
You know, so what's happening now is that stuff is going to go out in the pipes.
It has gone.
It has gone out in the pipes, and eventually then it's going to clog the pipes out in the field, and we've got a major problem.
And it has already, because the
So-
water level should be below what you see there.
Right.
Okay, there. The next one I'm going to take you in is a pump station. That one we pumped a year ago this spring or summer, last July, not this last July. So a year and
Actually,
8.
but now that you've seen how important it is that we can't use regular toilet paper up here, and because we're just messing with ourselves. You're just going to have to, everybody has to be super
This
savvy.
is septic tank number 3. We went down on the 1, 2, and now we're up by right outside Blueberry. So Blueberry's right back here. The lodge is right to my left, and Wintergreen is right to the right. Or Janice's, the guest cabin, and the lodge. Or Bobby and Jim's cabin, I should have said. So this one gets used more. This tank is a little bigger. This, if I remember right, it's a 1,000-gallon tank in this one. So this is a little bigger tank. This tank is also kind of unique in the aspect that it's got a lift station, and that's what that is right here. This is a lift station. And
That's what
if
the
you
alarm
ever
went off
hear
on.
that, it tells you your pump is not working, there is issues, and you're going to have major issues in there. With the number 2 cabin back there too, if the toilet really slows down stuff, and really be careful during this time till we can get that taken care of. But if it starts going down slow, stop using it. I hate to tell you that. Okay. But here is a test button. This should be tested, and I test it every time I come up just to make sure it works. It's an alarm system that says that this pump isn't working. And what's down there is this heavy sewage sits there. It comes from there and comes in down here. And it's a pump then that pumps it up to there. And the reason this is a pump station is because of the amount of volume, plus it is uphill. For the amount of volume coming out of here, they had to run the lines longer through that area, and they needed to force it with a pump. So that's the only difference on it. When you come up on to make sure, anytime you come up and things aren't all shut down in the main panel in the summertime for some reason, make sure this is on, and it'll say, I think it's right under the water pump on there. This septic unit then, you're gonna see, we pumped it a year ago last July. There is some tissue, there's materials in there, there's heavy stuff in here, I pulled a bunch of stuff out of here, candles, a lot of women's products and stuff out of here. So that's got to stop. This was pumped a little over a year, about a year and 2 months ago, and we've got a lot of fluids or solids in there. And if you can see the solids in there, it tells us we're still not doing the job correctly. Okay, and I know it seems like, and if people grow in the cities, I understand your situation because everything's taken care of for you and you don't have to worry about it. If you're in the country or if you're in the lake country, you don't have that luxury, so you got to maintain and take care of it yourself. You can see this one is still below. The water comes in there. If it ever gets up much higher than that, then we have issues with solids. Okay. But this will be pumped next spring also.
I think we're just gonna pump all of them,
Oh,
and then it's on a rotation. You know, just pump all of them, and then we'll just know. Yep.
So Kobe, question, you hear the alarm go off, what do you do?
Excellent question. You go out and find out what the issue is, and if that alarm goes on, the pump is either failed, or
Okay.
there's so much fluid in there, or it's frozen.
Okay,
And if that be the case, you gotta stop all water, period. And then you take a pail.
In these 3 units, all water to.
No, these three, you bet, you bet.
and by
Have to.
stop using water, you mean turn the water off, literally the 3
All
cabins?
water, nothing,
Okay.
nothing comes into the septic system, and that's these 3 cabins.
Okay,
Okay?
yep,
And the other one doesn't have alarm systems, but because this is a pump, it does.
mm-hmm,
If it would add alarm, yours cabin down there, the second one we went to, would have been screaming quite a bit by now.
okay. So if you turn the water off in the 3 cabins, then does the alarm go off, or do you?
No, you have to get it back down. You can shut it off. There's a fuse right to the left of that lever there. You can
Okay.
pull the fuse out. I would highly recommend not doing that unless you have to. And another easier way is to go shut the circuit breaker off in the panel right by in the lodge, not the one on the outside, but the
Okay.
inside one.
Okay,
It's a good
Alright.
question.
all right,
And then, you know, when the alarm went off, it was because our pump had died, and that's when we had to replace the pump.
all right.
And lightning can do it, but this is pretty well protected.
Can you clarify the test you do? So you push something, it makes a sound. What is it? What are you looking for if there's a problem?
It isn't. Anytime there's a pump with a float and the float goes up and down, if it stops pumping out there or the drain field gets plugged, the float comes up, and if it can't keep up, the alarm goes on.
Oh, okay.
When I check it, every time I come up here, I just walk by and check it. I just make sure that the system is working, because there's a fuse right in here, and sometimes they do blow out. And there's also a light if you can't, you drive in, you see that light.
She just meant show how you test it. What did you do?
Oh, I just there's the silence. You asked about shutting it off.
There you
Oh,
go.
silence. Okay, yeah.
Normal.
Oh, and the test is over there.
Got
It says it right on the top.
Okay.
Got it? Okay. And then do you leave it on normal? So we flip it back to normal?
It is, yeah.
Oh, it just flips itself?
No, it's there
Oh.
already.
Okay.
It's either silence or
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
we're
good.
crane into this.
Craig is
because-
showing us an insulation board he's cut for this. Did you want to continue now that it's on?
Yeah. Okay, and the insulation, well, if you want,
Oh, tilt it, yeah,
you gotta be careful. I don't want to go fishing. Here is the pump system in this one.
yep, got it,
And you see that float down there, Steve, the white thing? That's the float.
okay.
We're doing it. If it gets really cold, and if you guys come up deer hunting on that number 2 and you're using the toilet by dumping water in the toilet, if it's really, really cold, it's nice outside, guys.
Okay,
Because if it freezes up, you got major issues in underneath a cabin, because the pipes will break and